This video is a re-upload from August 2014 with no content changes. As such, it may not be completely up to date. Any inaccuracies may be explained by its status as a backup. Completely new Gamergate videos will come in the near future. Thank you. Hey guys, Dev here. For those of you who regularly watch this channel, you know me pretty well. Whoo boy. Some of you might have noticed a previous version of this video up for an hour in the middle of the night. Well, I recorded the lines Camera Lady gave me, went to bed, and woke up to her screaming that there's a ton of new info and there's a big shitstorm happening and we've got to do it again. Well. Consider this to be the second version of the video, with new added information. In any case, this video comes from the brain of Camera Lady. In case it's not obvious by now, Cam has a disability that makes it very hard for her to speak properly in a public sphere. At this point, I've done the Unsucky Sunday video in her place, I've done the advertisements for the channel in her place. It seems like I'm becoming the mouth of Camera Lady. I don't mind though. Just know that this video is entirely the product of her own efforts. Let's discuss Lego Butts. Here's a background. Maya Felix Kramer, aka Lego Butts on Twitter, is a Vancouver resident. On her Patreon, she claims her job is creating connections. That is, she's a PR person. Now, in the Internet Aristocrat's latest video, he mentions Maya in a few interesting ways. We know Maya works PR for many indie devs, including Zoe Quinn. We know Maya works PR for Silverstringing Media, a group that's backed by Anita Sarkeesian. We know she helped Zoe dox and DDoS the fine young capitalists. You know, that group that wanted to promote women in gaming, that wanted to make women's games and then donate the proceeds to charity? Oh, and then Zoe Quinn took the idea after getting them blacklisted from gaming media? Yeah. Here's some notes on Silverstringing Media. This PR group Sarkeesian is tied to is fairly creepy. Heavily ideological, they hold retreat workshops for social justice warrior concepts with a sharply activist tone. Reminds us of Jesus Camp. We also know that Silverstring and Maya are connected to the PR departments of many of the news outlets that all released articles decrying the gamer identities and subculture. There is even a public Google form where members of these various news outlets and Silverstring staff all discuss their issues with gamers. But we already all know this. This is stuff that's been revealed on Maya for a few days now. Where does the Indie Games Fest, aka the IGF, come into it? Aaron, Zoe's ex-boyfriend, came into the Burgers and Fries IRC channel recently. He confirmed his identity and did a Q&A on August 24th and 25th. His method of identification was adding a period at the end of his most recent post on Tumblr. Cyberzerker and the other mods of the IRC can confirm this to be the case. Additionally, Camera Lady independently verified Aaron was who he said he was. Not only was his address in the IRC info panel from Boston, but the name attached, Rough Sketch 1, leads back to a YouTube channel. This YouTube channel has no viewers and simply appears to be a dumping ground for the testing of various bits of software. The most recent video is of Aaron and Zoe Quinn testing some sort of screen tracking. I think this is reasonable proof that the individual who conducted the Q&A and later talked privately with Camera Lady to be the real Aaron. A full day before Zoe Quinn was doxxed, Camera Lady had discovered her private life, detailing back to when she was 13 years old. Camera Lady decided not to release this info because it served no purpose to the gaming journalism discussion. Instead, she approached Aaron in private and shared everything she knew. Aaron replied with, "You have enough evidence that it would be absurd for me not to confirm, and that he considers Camera Lady to be good at sleuthing." Aaron confirmed all of Camera Lady's findings, and then filled in the gaps. I'm not going to be revealing either Camera Lady's findings or Aaron's confirmations here. It doesn't matter what Zoe's real name is, it doesn't matter when she moved to Toronto, or any of this stuff. None of it is relevant to the issue. Now, are you still wondering what all this has to do with Maya and the IGF? Well, here we go. Not only did Aaron reveal to Camera Lady a lot of irrelevant information about Zoe's past, but also a lot of very relevant information about corruption in gaming journalism. Regarding Maya, Aaron said, "Okay, listen, IGF. Zoe told me Maya was sleeping with the guy who runs it, and all the people who won were people Maya was very close with. If you want to look into it, it might be interesting. Don't tell the rest of 4chan though. Additionally, 4 hours ago, as of this recording, Aaron made a post on his Tumblr. Somebody asked him what his experience with Maya Kramer is, and his only reply was, IGF. Camera Lady also asked, was the girl Zoe cheated on you with Lego Butts? Lego Butts being Maya's Twitter account. Aaron replied, yes. Camera Lady then said, Lego Butts makes sense, given everything else. Aaron confirmed that one of the censored names on the Zoe post was actually Maya's, where Zoe says, I deleted Robin's and Maya's logs. Aaron also mentioned extreme flirting between Maya and Zoe on Twitter, back during his panic attacks. So clearly, Maya has a sexual relationship with Zoe. On the personal side of that, it's fine. It's nobody's business. On the professional side of it, though, Zoe's having sex with Maya, her PR agent. Weird, but fine. Zoe's having sex with Maya, the PR agent for Silverstring Media, and by extension all of these news outlets. Not fine. If you thought the Nathan Grayson connection was tenuous, alright. Having sex with a member of the PR firm working for the outlets meant to report on your work, that is a direct connection. Now, let me bring this all back around to the IGF. We already know Maya's not exactly a reputable individual, what with all this conflict of interest going on around her. Let's meet Brandon Boyer, the chairman of the IGF. Through Aaron, Zoe spoke of Maya's sexual relationship with Brandon. The many, many flirtatious tweets sent between Maya Felix Kramer, aka Lego Butts, and Brandon Boyer, aka Brandon with 3 N's, all point to a romantic, or at least a close platonic relationship. Now, I'd like to take the time to note that August through December is the IGF's nomination period, and January through March is the IGF's judging period. When do all of these fraternizing communications take place between Maya and Brandon? Throughout all of it, from before the IGF opens to after the finalists have been picked. Having the chair of the IGF in the pocket of a woman working PR for Silverstring Media, a company that represents indie games? Strike one. We know that the winners and finalists of the IGF are friends with both Maya Kramer and Brandon Boyer. Not just from Aaron's word of mouth either. Yes, it's publicly known that Maya is the PR rep for the Stanley Parable, which won an IGF award, but that's only one link, right? Well, hey, Maya, you want to discuss a launch party of Crypto the Necrodancer with its dev? Alright, cool. Oh, Brandon, you want to cozy up to another member of Necrodancer's staff? Awesome. How was that party night you and Maya had, Brandon, with a dev that Maya does PR for, and you're supposed to be impartially judging? Was it fun? Speaking of judging, how is judging handled in the IGF? Well, maybe this Gama Sutra article can shed some light on the subject. Today, we're happy to announce members of some of our discipline-specific jury panels. These panels, composed of game industry professionals, notable independent game developers, and former IGF award winners, will determine the finalists and winners of the various IGF 2014 awards. Well, I feel incredibly enlightened after reading that. What does this mean? What is the vetting process? Does Brandon Boyer just choose his friends? Is the notability factor for notable independent game developers referring to how much you suck up? The truth is, nobody but Brandon knows how the IGF judges are selected. And I'm not the first one to complain about this. An article on the Rotting Cartridge, posted on February 22nd, 2012, describes one indie team's absolutely horrendous IGF experience. They describe how, of the 8 judges that were assigned to their game, 3 didn't play it, 3 played it right at the end of the deadline, and all but 1 judge didn't play the game for more than 5 minutes. Oh, and the only reply they got from anybody over at the IGF was when they considered going public with the info. Classy, Brandon. What would really make the IGF a shit show, though, is if we could somehow link Maya's parent company, Silverstring Media, back to the IGF finalists and winners. I mean, at that point, we'd have Maya doing PR for news outlets covering IGF, Maya doing PR for indie devs either entering IGF or assisting with IGF, Maya fucking the IGF chair, who, by the way, with the lack of judicial oversight, seems to have total control over who wins the IGF, and Maya's parent company directly tied with IGF winners. But there's no way they'd ever allow themselves to get that entangled, right? Oh, wait. Silverstring Media's CEO, Lucas Johnson, wrote for the game Extra Solar, which made IGF finalist, as well as for Crypto the Necrodancer, another finalist. And who helped Lucas write Necrodancer? Andrew Grant Wilson, Silverstring's CCO. Are you fucking kidding me? So, let's recap. We don't know how the IGF contestants are judged. We know Maya Felix Kramer, a PR worker for Silverstring Media, has a romantic or sexual relationship with Brandon Boyer, the chair of the IGF. We know both Maya and Brandon have close friendships with many of the IGF's finalists and leaders. And we know that Silverstring staffers also work on the games that placed in the IGF's finalist and leader positions. You know who else might like to know this? The people who didn't win the IGF. The people who aren't friends with Maya or don't work with Silverstring Media. I know if I was an indie dev and I paid $100 to enter my game into the most prestigious indie contest of all time, a contest in which several $1,000s of prize money is given out on an annual basis, a contest in which the winners receive large boosts in press coverage and sales, only to later find out that all the winners were friends and colleagues with the girl fucking the IGF chairman, I might have a few inquiries into the validity of the IGF itself. But that's just me. Okay, let's clear off the table a little bit. Forget the Zoe and Aaron thing. Forget the nepotism in Maya's past. Put it all aside for just a second. Even if you just consider Aaron to be a jilted lover and that all of this inquiry into the business practices of these people to be misogyny or whatever, don't you think that the IGF should be an organization independent of all of this? Don't you think that, say, the IGF's chair shouldn't have any relationship whatsoever, friendship or sexual or even business, with the journalists and the developers or any related staff? The fact that it's already happened with Brandon Boyer and Maya Felix Kramer is bad enough. What's worse is that the IGF lacks both the safeguards to prevent this from happening again, and it lacks the respect for its contestants not currently a member of the Cool Kids Club. Being able to promote your indie game as a winner in the IGF is a big deal in indie gaming. Now that we know Maya allegedly fucked Brandon in order to get her friends and clients that little IGF seal of approval, can we ever trust the Independent Games Festival again? Will this happen again next year to get Maya's gaggle of new BFFs, the Indie Games Fest 2015 shiny sticker? Will all of the next year's IGF contestants not fortunate enough to be in Maya's little club get screwed over yet again? So that's the Indie Games Fest for you. If you're an indie dev who didn't win this time around, well, don't worry about it. For next year, just slap some lipstick on. I hear Brandon likes smudges around his shaft.
Like women killing video games, because it was like a bunch of women talking about how we get accused of killing video games just for being women in the industry.
It was just for being women in the industry. It was just for being women in the industry.
By the way, you guys want some more fun links? IGF's parent company is GDC. GDC also owns Gamasutra. And who is Gamasutra's editor-in-chief? Leigh Alexander. And that one indie game that Silverstring Media worked on and got finalist in the IGF, Extra Solar? That game's also an Indiecade finalist. Two members of Indiecade's chair are Maya Kramer and Robin Arnott, one of the infamous Five Guys. Why does it seem like everybody is in on everything in the indie games community?